Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker. Well, Mr Deputy Speaker, the budget that was announced just a few short weeks ago is all about security and opportunity. This government, this side of the House, is all about providing opportunities for everyday Australians. And this side of the House, this government has provided an extra $18.6 billion in Gonski needs-based funding for schools. Now, in my electorate alone, just in my 35 schools, let's just have a look at some of the schools in my electorate in Fisher. There's $27 million more for Unity College. This is over a 10-year period. $26 million more for Glasshouse Christian College. $22 million more for Chancellor State College. $21 million more for Merredin State College. $17 million more for Siena Catholic College. And I was very heartened to see, Mr Deputy Speaker, Brisbane Catholic Education come out just in the last couple of days and support the budget education reforms. How is it fair? How is it fair, Mr Deputy Speaker, that turning now from education to talking about infrastructure, how is it fair that people on the Sunshine Coast have spent years and years and years stuck on the Bruce Highway? The member for Grainler, when he was the infrastructure minister, did absolutely nothing for the Sunshine Coast. No improvements to the Bruce Highway, no improvements to rail. How is that fair? Under this government, we are spending a total of $929.3. You might want to listen. You might learn something. $929.3 million between Caloundra Road and Sunshine Motorway. Was that done under a Labor government? No, it wasn't. $929.3 million for a new interchange at Caloundra Road, new interchange at Sunshine Motorway. This is reforms to transport that the other side, the member for Grainler, when he was the Transport Infrastructure Minister, didn't even dream of. Because our side, this side of the House wants to ensure that people get to work safely and as quickly as possible. Those people in the Sunshine Coast who've ever travelled to Brisbane in peak hour traffic, well, peak hour is now around about 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours at night, they will know and they will relish that this government is stumping up and doing for the Sunshine Coast that the Labor Party never did when they were in government. But we didn't stop there. In the budget, we announced a further $650 million. Don't shake your head because it's happening. A further $650 million. That's on top of the announcement that was made in September. A further $650 million for the Bruce Highway upgrades south of Caloundra. Now, how is it fair that under Labor, the Sunshine Coast for the Bruce Highway didn't get a brass razoo, but now that under the Turnbull coalition government, we are now seeing these sorts of fantastic funding opportunities. But it's not just rail, and not just road, it's also rail. $10 billion national rail program. That's on top of the $8.4 billion being spent in the rail from Brisbane to Melbourne. So a $10 billion national rail program on top of that $8.4 billion, $10 billion that the Queensland Labor state government can tender for. They can tender for that $10 billion. So we'll be able to get a rail program and a duplicated rail from Beerburrum to Nambour. So it's a matter for the Queensland State Labor government to actually put in a tender for that project. But will they do it? Will they do it? Very, very likely chance that they won't, because zero chance because they don't want to spend the money. Chances are they don't have the money, but they won't spend it because they don't care about the Sunshine Coast. Now let's look at the NDIS. The NDIS. Now, as the father of a disabled child, I know that all of you people over there, or most of you over there, will want to see funding for our most disadvantaged. But your leader
Order.
doesn't want to do
Order.
it, and he's
Order.
a disgrace.
The members